Well, I was gonna try. Well, anyway, there's this news stuff going on about like how courier food delivery people don't have workers' compensation coverage and whatever if you're working for Uber Eats and stuff. And I'm nervous about this because any kind of controversy um, around Uber Eats, it could disrupt my freaking life. So I'm just gonna play through this uh, CBC National thing about it and then talk about it a little bit, how I feel about it.
Food delivery apps are popping up nearly everywhere. Which ones do you use, Dora?
I use Uber Eats, so that's what I'm all.
Yeah, my man.
The deal is clear.
It is quick, it's convenient.
But Marketplace has discovered that not all apps are equal when it comes to the treatment of injured couriers.
I crashed through the door and that broke my left hand.
I went right into him.
These couriers work for competing food delivery apps. We've agreed not to identify them because they say they're afraid they'll lose their job.
Okay. This is one reason I like fucking Uber Eats. You don't have to schedule it in, and I don't think that they would fucking ban somebody for being a whistleblower or something.
For talking to us. In Ontario, any couriers who deliver on foot or on bicycle must be covered by workers' compensation, which companies pay into. But while this Fedora courier was covered when he was injured on the job, this Uber Eats one was not.
I was really stressed. I didn't have enough money to pay my food, to have to save money for everything. Even I have to ask for money from my dad.
Okay, so every single job I've ever had, if I get injured, anything happens to me, first thing that happens, I lose a job. Second thing that happens, I lose my like food money, apartment, stuff like that. Third thing that happens, I go on welfare. Fourth thing that happens, I get a worse job because now I'm like down a rung in the ladder of society, so I end up getting a worse job. That's just how it goes. So, it's not like I've ever had fucking access to any of this shit anyway. And these are all people, like all the people who are reporting on this and talking about this in government and stuff like that, they're all people who've never fucking experienced this. Maybe they have, but like they are not in a position of having to worry about this type of stuff.
Marketplace has learned Uber Eats has no coverage for its couriers on the road. That's because the company is classified as a telephone answering service like a call center. However, Fedora is classified as courier operations, so its couriers are covered. Skip the dishes status is pending.
I think it's really messed up because the nature of the job, regardless of who you work for, is the same. What happened to me could happen to anyone.
Okay, it's taken me a while longer than I thought to, get up and feed myself, get my clothes together, whatever. And so I'm just going to go online when I'm ready. That's a pretty different nature of the job from these guys who are like, okay, yeah, I'll accept this shift on Friday and I can cancel 24 hours beforehand, whatever.
Who does any food delivery job?
Across the country where it delivers, Uber Eats tells us it does not pay into workers' compensation for its couriers, saying in the provinces where Uber Eats is available, independent contractors may choose to register themselves for optional coverage with their province's workers' compensation authority.
See, and this is exactly what I'm going to do when I get my shit together and put together my own little company and hire myself and pay myself instead of just taking the fees and stuff. And part of that is going to be dental coverage. La 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 la. And part of that is going to be like all sorts of extra, the super deluxe coverage and stuff, massage, everything. Because I'm going to split this job into two different jobs. And one of them is going to be manager, and the other one is going to be me. But they're both going to be me. And I'm on disability right now. I'm on ODSP, and I'm gradually sort of getting off of it because now, they're paying me out a lot less than they were before I was making money, of course. So that's nice. I've got more money overall, and I'm costing taxpayers less, which is great. So I'm digging myself out, and Uber Eats is part of that. And the ODSP doesn't acknowledge my food expenses as like fuel expenses. So I'm gonna make this company to cover that issue, so that they will just see, me getting a paycheck and a bunch of cash advances instead of me getting a bunch of earnings and spending a bunch of money. So I'm already going to do it for that reason. I'm already going to do it for tax reasons. I'm already going to, but that is also just the nature of the beast, is like we are all just using a classified ad to connect with each other. And I like it that way. That's fine. Which is weird. It's kind of like a super conservative, way of doing business or whatever, but it's the direction that everything's gone anyway. And it's I've always gotten sucked into this. I've always gotten sucked into this direction with any job I get. I've never had fucking access to my labor rates. So this is what I'm used to anyway. And, if this work gets taken away from me or reduced in value because of some bullshit thing, people harping about, labor rights that they probably wouldn't get anyway. I guess this, these people are reporting like they got coverage or they didn't get coverage. So, I'm obviously in a different situation. If I stop being able to do Uber Eats for a while, ODSP will cut back in, and I'll go back to being super poor again, but I won't be, homeless and starving. But it really does mean like I have to get on top of this situation with making this little company and managing myself as my only employee, partially so that I can like get this sort of extra health insurance and like extra workers' compensation insurance, and also so that I can be properly deducting and setting aside money for income taxes instead of just owing it at the end of the year and then having this debt that I have to pay because I'm treating my earnings as income, So it's like I shouldn't be complaining about disability treating my earnings as income without acknowledging my expenses when I'm treating my earnings as income, even though I'm treating my expenses as expenses. So anyway, I'll just like finish off this broadcast, but I hate the hoity-toity way that they are reporting about this, because, well, of course they are going to, but still it's just like it's offensive to have people who have their labor rights discussing my lack of labor rights. And I guess in their own way they're sort of trying to spread it, but like I make fucking good money, I can basically afford to make like minimum wage and then pay for all this shit. So that's what I should be doing. So, and that's what I will be doing. But yeah, if these other courier services are offering like a living wage plus this kind of coverage, and if they start to become like as flexible as Uber Eats, then it's a competition thing.
Skip the Dishes pays for coverage in some provinces and not others, saying they're following provincial regulations. Fedora tells us where it delivers in the country, it pays for compensation coverage for couriers.
We feel that it's important that the worker has protection in the event that they're injured on the job. And in speaking to the regulating bodies, it seemed like it was something that we were able to do and actually supposed to be doing.
We asked the board that manages workers' compensation for an interview to explain why the difference in classification. They declined, but say our questions are leading them to review Uber Eats and the industry as a whole.
See, that's what I'm scared of.
Together, Celeste, CBC News, Toronto.
I'm scared of that review. I don't want things to fucking get worse. And I don't want people to fucking boycott Uber Eats because of this issue. Like, please do not stop using Uber Eats and stop because of this. Because that will fuck me up. Not on the job. Like, I'm fine. And other Uber Eats people and me and everybody, we should have our own thing going on. But hopefully, I don't know what I would want for Uber Eats to do. It's like, I don't want them to do anything that adds to their overhead and would boost their fees. I don't want to do anything that would change the format of the way that I work, because I love it. It's wonderful. It's totally great. So I'm coming from a standpoint where it's like I don't want the thing to get less popular, and I don't want the format to change, and I'm just gonna watch the National for yesterday and then fucking get to work and deliver a bunch of food and then go buy a bunch of food. And I'll go and buy my food at the grocery store because I fucking make my own food. Right? I think it would be kind of fun to like just do a whole month where like I'm getting all my food from Uber Eats and I'm making all my food money at Uber Eats as well, just for fun because that would be funny. But I don't want to eat restaurant food for a month, so whatever. I'll just continue making it for myself. But it's kind of funny to be like an Uber Eats courier who like most of my money comes from like junk food where the delivery fee is almost as much or up to like 3 times as much as the actual food itself, and the food is garbage. And then, like meanwhile, and I'm eating garbage to do it. I'm eating like Cliff Bars and stuff, but that to me is garbage, because it's packaged. But like meanwhile, almost all my food comes from like I make it at home. When people come over and check out my kitchen, they're like, "Wow, it's such a mess." And I'm like, "It's not really a mess. This is just all, I cook, like I make fucking food." Anyway, I'll see you out there. Don't run me over. I won't vandalize your car. We have an arrangement. We have a provisional arrangement, me and the drivers. They're very nice. I can't believe the Uber Eats thing blows me because I can't believe how nice the drivers are. I can't believe how nice the merchants are. And I can't believe how nice the fucking customers are. I never expected to have a service industry job where I wouldn't be kind of like reeling from some customer bullshit every day. And there's been zero customer bullshit. It's so weird, like 250 something deliveries. Zero customer bullshit. I've had zero, big fat nothing in the realm of customer bullshit. And that really blows me away. I was talking with this friend of mine who has worked in a shop for the past several years, and the people come in and buy stuff, and he says, "What's your ratio of like terrible customers?" And I'm like, "Is it like 1 in 100?" He's like, "Oh, it's more than that." I'm like, 1 in 30? I'm like, "Is it 1 a day? Is it 1 an hour?" He's like, "It's like several a day." I'm like, "Fuck, that's fucked up, man. I could not handle that bullshit." That's why I've not worked in customer service. So, like as a web designer, my clients were all fucked up, and my coworkers were often totally messed up in the head and stuff. And I just can't believe how great my customers are as an Uber Eats courier. So keep it up, guys. I love you. You're great. You don't be ashamed of eating a bunch of junk food. Okay, I just talked about how I like make food for myself at home from scratch, but I eat a lot of like A&W Buddy Burgers. So I'm a liar, and I'm not really a liar, but I'm sort of a it's mostly since I've been doing Uber Eats that I've been eating the junk food. But I don't mind a takeout burger every once in a while. But don't. It's like some of the customers, they do look a little bit sheepish. It's like, yeah, I'm catching them, in their pajamas or whatever. But they're willing to come to the door in their pajamas. They're not like poking their head out from around the door. They're standing in the doorway, in their pajamas and stuff with their phone. Like they're obviously, they're willing to be seen like this, but at the same time they sort of look a little bit embarrassed, or they look grateful is what they look like. They look grateful and they can see like I'm not looking at them funny, and they look like they're grateful for that, and they look like they're grateful for having the food at their door, and they're grateful to be able to smell it because there's smells wafting from the bag and stuff like that. And so that's what I catch is like gratitude, and they're just nice and whatever. Sometimes they don't look me in the eye. I kind of don't like that. But I don't know, it's fine. It's okay, that's fine. The best job I ever had. It's so fucked up. Of course, it's going to be taken away by CBC News or something. Fucking the same people who would never help me with any labor rights issue are going to probably take this job away from me because they're losers.